categorize the Envision Center based on, HUD's creation of them. So I like to put together some information, get it to the board so the board can see it, and, that way we can utilize some information while we're out in the community, to provide to partners and things, almost like a speaking point, that we all are, pretty much saying the same things regarding what the purpose of the Envision Center may be for. So that's one. The second thing is I received a call from Kirk Edwards is his name, from the Joy Gym Community Development Corp. And this was something that the mayor wanted the Housing Commission involved in. So I just jumped on a quick call. It was pretty much last minute. And the Joy Gym Community Development Center essentially runs a small 12-unit complex for veterans. And they asked the Housing Commission, is this something that we may be interested in terms of partnering with them with this development or with this building? And when I say development, it's already developed. It's not being built or anything. But they're looking for some partners. So, I'll get more information and bring to the board once I have a chance to really talk in depth with Kirk. This was the last minute thing the mayor asked for us to jump on. So I got involved and, again, we'll update it. But essentially, when partners come to the Housing Commission about specific programs, what they're looking for is project-based vouchers. That's what they're looking for. That's essentially what they're coming for. So, but again, I will get more information. I will not commit us to anything without running through the board. So, but I wanted to give you a heads up because housing veterans is always something that we could be proud of doing. The other thing I had with the resident initiatives was resident meetings. So, coming into this position and speaking with the resident council, I made sure they knew that resident meetings would occur and occur consistently. Talked to Ms. Sutton as the Director of Asset Management, and we will begin this month with resident meetings and every other month and every month after that. So, whether we have to facilitate Zoom or conference call, we will have flyers out to residents to call in and participate at the resident meetings. We have to start and make sure that we engage the residents on a routine basis. Resident meetings is the way that you include residents, that you seek feedback, which will help us drive, some of our operations. So I'm excited for those. Those will be driven at the AMP level, not at the director level. So, I may be on those resident meetings, but it's not my meeting. It's going to be the asset manager's meeting. And it's an opportunity for the asset manager to speak to the residents on things that the Housing Commission may be doing, some of the issues, concerns that we're seeing, and for residents also to voice their same issues or concerns or their excitement or something that we may have done. It's not all negative, something that we may be doing good or correct. So just want to let the board know that, again, engaging the residents, and that's why this topic, it will be on my standing report. That's something that I will make sure you all know, but engaging the residents, working with residents is a must going forward. Another topic that I would like to bring to the board each month is, and this is something I think is new, but I don't think it is something that is new to us, but I think in this forum it may be new. I would like to always monthly recognize employees and begin to have some sort of recognition of employees, whether they be promoted or rather there's some information that comes to me regarding something an employee has done, or if it's something that we notice, we see an employee really striving to better themselves. So promotions I think are pretty standard, and so that I can be consistent recognizing employees that were promoted, as well as coming up with another category to recognize employees, so that again it's not just recognition that we're picking out of the air, for lack of better words, but something that we can really define. So if we say that the recognition is called Employee of the Month, that we come up with some parameters of why somebody will be selected, and people can nominate whether it's a resident, whether it's another employee. So I would like to begin that soon, and we'll formulate, how we can put together something to where it is something where we can recognize employees. With that being said, I believe, and forgive me if it didn't occur in the month of January, but Ronisha Springer, I believe, was clerk typist and has been now promoted to the intake specialist. And so I just want to congratulate Ronisha. That's a huge position. That position is charged with bringing people into housing. That position is charged with making sure that the documents and things are compliant. So we're looking forward to Ronisha getting the necessary tools to take that position to the next level. So I just want to congratulate Ronisha Springer. I also would like to recognize Ms. Tamika Sutton. Ms. Tamika Sutton was the interim acting director for a period in time, and from my start date, she has been totally supportive of me. I can't imagine the things that she had to do wearing multiple hats. So I just want to recognize Ms. Sutton for her work towards the Inkster Housing Commission and what she did to keep us moving. And so now, Ms. Sutton, you may now be able to focus in the areas that you may be able to focus. I'm here to help you now. So again, I just want to recognize, her good work for the commission.
Here, here.
The other topic that I would like to bring forth, again, these are be standard, will be operations. And I think Chairman Miller and most of the board, if I'm not mistaken, have mentioned, even on the meeting for today, the need for committee meetings outside of the board meeting. There's so much that we have going on. There's so much information, and I feel as if just in this short time, we need to really make sure that we keep the board informed on things that are going on. And I think at the board meeting, it's really hard for us to explain a lot of the things in these reports, a lot of the resolutions. So I think if we establish different committee meetings, and I had sent a little note to the board and just what my thoughts were on the 12th of February. But if we establish some committees, one being, we can call it whatever we would like, capital operations, that'll be one. But we need to establish a committee to where we can really hammer out some of the details on operations and resolutions, so that when we get to this forum, it's pretty streamlined. It's our job to inform the board, and it's our job to educate the board. So any questions you all ask, if you ask me, are warranted and necessary. And it's for us to make sure that we get you the information that you're comfortable with, and we get you the information timely. So a few things that I want to really look into operationally is how we move along our board information to the board, getting it to you more timely, getting you the necessary information that you need, where it can focus you on the things that are most important. And so again, if we can do that, if we can have discussions outside of the board meeting in the form of committees, that when we get to the board meeting, hopefully, these can run pretty seamless. So that'd be one thing that I would like to work on operationally. The other thing operationally I wanted to update the board on is Canterbury. Coming in, I understand Canterbury has been a development where we've had some challenges. And so the decision was to vacate the property. Well, right now, as of today, we have 6 units where someone is living in. 5 units are residents. 1 unit is a live-in aid. Total altogether, there's 6 people residing in the property. Those 6 people we have to really wrap our arms around to escalate the process. And with the units over there at Canterbury, I believe it's 24 total, we really need to also make sure that we secure the property. So working with Ms. Sutton and the asset manager, Ms. Matthews. The property needs to be maintained, kept up, and that is something that we will do, and that we'll do expeditiously. But we really need to move and wrap our arms around the remaining residents. The other topic within operations that I wanted to brief the board on was our occupancy in our both programs. Occupancy is what we typically call it in public housing. Utilization is what we typically call it in housing choice voucher. And so in both programs, we have some work to do when it comes to our occupancy and utilization. Public housing, because we're the landlords, we assume all the risk, and so working with the Inkster Police and working with our staff internally, dealing with some of the issues of the vacancies and the potential subleasing and squatters is something that is number one on my radar in that program, and it's something that we intend to do, and again, do expeditiously. We have to handle that before the weather change, and it's something that we have to stay on. It's not a one-time thing, it's an all-the-time thing. And so until we really can wrap our arms around the vacancies, again, making sure our units are secured, make sure we deal with this subleasing and potential squatter issue is number one when it comes to public housing occupancy. And when it comes to housing choice voucher, utilization, we really have to look deep into what we call a two-year tool and work with Ms. Sanford and her team and Mr. Watson to make sure that we are utilizing our vouchers to the best that we can. And if for some reason we cannot, why? What's going on that we cannot lease up the vouchers that are assigned to us? So, coming in the door, those are operationally some of my very first tasks in the two programs because that is how we survive. So, I want to make sure that the board understands those are very important, and those are two things that, I'll be working on. The last category that I had as far as the Executive Director report was other. That's kind of a catch-all. And so, if there's things that don't typically fit into those, I'll put them in the other. One thing is the 2019 audit was completed. I do have the 2019 audit, and the city has requested the 2019 audit. So I would like to make sure that the board, that we set aside some time to review the 2019 audit. Last thing is EJP and development. Again, coming in, there's so many documents, so many things, floating around that I'm trying to get straight. And I understand there's been development discussion in the past, but I really want to make sure I received a call from EJP, and I spoke with them just about some of the plans that apparently they put in front of us some time ago. So I had them send me those plans, send whatever was presented, if it was presented to the board. I'm not sure, but these were put together in 2020, looks like mid to early 2020. So I really would like to get back with the board again in a forum, whether it's a committee meeting, to where we can really review some of the recommendations made from EJP. I just think that any type of development discussion, we really need to dive into the whys and what we're